A lot of little bugs up here. He went back and got a shotgun and pushed it up to the door with the shotgun right under the guy's neck and told him to leave. Well, good morning, everyone. Today, I've been saying it for a long time. Today, I am going to make the trek to Cowan Lake, and specifically a campground called Beechwood Acres. And this campground is pretty much where I grew up as a kid. All through my childhood, growing up into my teenage years, my family, my mother and father, camped at Beechwood Acres, and that is in near it's basically on the private side of Cowan Lake, and I'll cover that more when I get up there. Now I have my GPS in, as you can see, and see my key fob, the little blinky key. I'm just convinced that that only means that something's plugged into the 12-volt adapter, I guess. We're not going to talk pessimistic. We're going to think that everything will be great, and I'm just concerned about that blinking key all the time when I have something plugged into the 12-volt. About an hour to get there from here. A little chilly today. This morning I got my my long sleeve jacket on, so I'll spare the talking until we get up there, but that's where I'm headed. So I'll see you back in about an hour. This trail right here leads to the campground that we used to camp. So this is Cowan Lake. It took me about a little less than an hour to get here. This place is usually pretty dead. I mean, back in the day, back in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, this was a hopping place. It feels much bigger when you're younger. It's a pretty good size. Looks fairly clean. I'm gonna go down here and we're gonna walk around a little bit. I literally have not been up here in probably 10 years or more, and that was just to kind of do this, check it out. When I was young, I would say probably 6, 7, 8 years old, all the way up until I was a teenager. This is basically where I grew up. Every single weekend my parents would camp at the Beechwood Acres behind me there, and the state park is on the other side. That's Cowan Lake State Park. There she is. One thing I do need is more pockets. Anytime you ride a bike and you leave the bike, you got a lot of stuff to carry: your wallet, your phone, your keys, your snacks. But yeah, this area right here, this is the beach house. As you can see, there's the lake. I don't know if they're open. I would assume they're open. These have been here for many years. But this is my old stomping ground. Men's over there. It looks like it's maintained pretty well. I mean, well, I don't know when the concessions are open, but As a kid, I lived at this beach, man. This is where I would come up, get those little ice cream cups, you know, and that was a lot of fun. Literally one person on the beach with some kids, and there's a canoe group somewhere. So yeah, this is where brings back memories, because like I said, this is where I grew up. I cannot tell you how many times when I was young how much we came down here. We came here every single weekend. My parents camped all through my childhood, and that was pretty cool because I had my own friends up here, and then I would have my own set of friends back at home. Like an hour drive to get here, it felt like we were in another world. A lot of little bugs up here, but I'm gonna try to walk down to the beach here. There goes a blue heron. Kind of hard to see with this camera, even though I have it in linear mode. I'm gonna walk down here. I haven't been on this beach, like I said, on my feet on this beach in probably many decades. So this is one of the reasons I like the motorbike, is I can just take these little excursions like this and visit places I haven't been in decades. And I plan to do a lot more of those. But I've said in many videos, I'm gonna get up to Cowan Lake one of these days, right? Well, I finally made it. It's like they maintain it pretty well. Now, being a lake, you're not gonna get the effect like you would an ocean with the waves and stuff. So lakes are fairly calm. This one's fairly calm, always has been. Very clean. It's a sandy bottom. It's a lot cleaner than it has in some years. Another year I came up here, it was fully covered with a lot of goose droppings. There's a lot of geese that kind of just land here and overtake the beach. It doesn't look too bad. Here's a feather. Feather? Looks like this is a frisbee golf course, because there's one of this is the 16th hole, but the frisbee basically lands in this basket. That must be new, because they didn't have that when I was young. Another blue heron. Grew up fishing on this lake, and this lake real popular for crappie, bluegill, some bass, but the majority of things that we caught when I fished with my dad and stuff on a boat were bluegill and crappie. There is an island out there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's an island out there that it's been here this whole time, and I've never been on it, believe it or not. But there's nothing on it. It's just kind of like brush and stuff. It's not very big. My parents had a pontoon boat. Well, initially they had a little fishing boat, and then we would go. It was great when they bought the pontoon boat, because we would just travel this whole lake. There's a pontoon boat right there, and we would just fish in these little coves like this. There's some coves on the other side. My dad would get up, him and his buddy, and I would go along with him, and we would go out fishing as the sun was coming up, and we would come back with 40-50 fish, a lot of crappie, and then I would have to clean them all, fillet them too, and then we'd have a fish fry. All the people in the campground, our friends and stuff, would come over and enjoy the festivities and the fish fry. Good old times. Well, until another 20 years possibly. We're gonna go to the campground. Nothing better than riding through the woods. It's nice and cool, shady. Cowan Lake Cowan Lake Dance Pavilion. That's cool. Maybe they do some dancing and stuff on weekends or whatever. Cleaning the shelters. So yeah, you could come up here and picnic, and there's stuff all throughout the park. I'll just kind of give a little tour. There's a Cowan Lake disc golf. That looks pretty neat. I guess it's all through the woods here, obviously. Hole 1 back there. Okay. I think I played frisbee golf like one time, if I can remember. But out here near Wilmington, it's just all country. A lot of farming out here. We came up here in the wintertime when I was little to do something. My dad, I guess, was winterizing the camper or something, and we got stuck on this road going this direction because it was like very icy and snowy, and I don't know why they picked that day to come here, or maybe it hit all of a sudden. But you can start seeing some campers through the woods here. But yeah, they got stuck like right back there on that hill. And I think the campsite, the owner of the campsite, or whoever managed it at that time, had to come and rescue us, pull us up the hill on his tractor. I remember that plain as day. So here is Beechwood Acres. And see, this is the path that leads down to the beach. I've walked that thing hundreds of times when I was younger. So now, back when we camped, there was a lot of trees. It's really it's changed. Because I looked it up on the map years ago, and now they got a pool. See, this pool here was never here. I'm gonna go in here a second, talk to the guy. Take this off a minute. People can't hear you when you talk through a helmet. Oh, hi. I grew up camping here, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm from Fairfield, Ohio.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
So
cool.
you want to come by and check it out?
Yeah.
You ride your motorcycle here?
Yeah, I was gonna just travel through the park if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want some information?
Nah, I can look it up online, but I haven't been here in literally 30 years, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
sure.
Yeah.
You just happen to be out. It's a beautiful day to be out, isn't it?
You guys run this now?
No, we just work here.
We just
Okay.
walk.
There was an
But
old
he's
man.
my dad.
You remember Buzz? He was an old manager here. Older guy.
No, we
This
don't-
was like probably 35 years ago.
She
Yeah.
and I only been there for like 6 years.
Yeah, man, I go back way. But they didn't have the pool back then or anything.
Right, they put that in 2002.
Okay, yeah.
So that's when Carla took over from her parents. So she still runs it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, her parents started it, and now she runs it.
How long has she been doing that?
Since 1999, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, I'm out of here, baby.
all right.
All
Bye.
right.
I'll see you next week.
There was a camper behind here. Is there still a camper behind here?
Yeah.
That's
There's
where.
a
That's the
mobile
manager.
home. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he Buzz was just a whole country boy, older guy, but he was tough as nails. I
Oh,
mean,
sure.
we got followed up here from some, like the winery down there.
Oh, yeah.
Vineyards or something.
Yeah, I can't think of the name. It's like Vineyard. It's not Vineyard Vines. It's
Yeah, and they were
Something like
like
that.
drunk, and they came up here, and he went back and got a shotgun and pushed it up to the door with the shotgun right under the guy's neck and hung dead in the leaf. He was like no kidding, tough as nails. He would not put up with anything. Called him Buzz for Buzzsaw. Yeah.
It's probably her dad. That's what I'm thinking. It's probably her dad.
Yeah, I didn't know if it might have been a relative or not, but
yeah. But yeah, it probably looks very different than it did 30 years ago.
Oh yeah, it was gravel too back then.
Oh yeah. If you go back further, like this way,
yeah,
it turns into gravel, and if you go into the seasonal, it's gravel as well. But
okay. Do you care if I drive through a while?
No, absolutely.
Okay.
My voice is going.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. Take a lap. Check it out.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Maybe I have to come up here sometime with fam.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Got some cornhole sets down there. That pool is new though. Go up here, show. But yeah, that looks really nice though. This is I camped up here before this. This was all gravel, and now there's a pool. Very clean. It's a very clean campsite. A lot of flowers. Okay. Didn't check my gas in a while. Yeah, a little over half a tank maybe. Okay, what we got going on here? Kickstand up, yep. Huh. Interesting. Off, on. I wonder if this is too much draw. Yeah, see this, anytime I have this 12-volt adapter plugged in, I just get some really goofy behavior with this thing. You could tell it wouldn't start. So I don't know if it's my 12-volt just thing being cheap, or there's just too much draw on the battery. I have no idea. That's why I'm hesitant to plug anything into that thing. Anyway, this is, I'll show you where our camper was. It's a very clean park though. I'm really impressed how clean this place is. So our camper, I think was about, I want to say right here, right in this area. This is where and back then we had private lots. You could buy a private lot, and then there was pull-throughs. I'll show you down here. But my parents' camper was right in here. Now they're cabins. So I think that would be cool to rent cabin number 8, because that's probably the same lot that I grew up on. Got to remember that, cabin number 8. I'll go down there maybe. See that looks permanent there, that one. These are all pull through. I think probably the majority of them are now. But I forgot to ask her if there's permanent lots anymore allowed. That one is, because you can see the deck around it. So that's kind of like my parents had set up. They had the camper and the deck around it, and they just left it there all year long. Let's go down here. very a lot. This gravel's really deep. I can feel myself kind of like sliding. Oh, I guess this is it, huh? Okay. You dead end. Whoa. Squishy. We have some friends that camp all the time. I think they got about like a 32 footer. They would probably love this place. I don't know if they've ever been up here. These almost look like they're permanent lots though. These do. I'm not sure if I should go down there. Nothing down there. It's a dead end, I think. Yeah, see, these are permanent because they got the deck and everything. It's really nicely done with the pavers and the brick. That pole barn is new. I never remember seeing that. And the old outhouse. Okay, this is a dump station right there. The outhouse looks a lot nicer than it did back in the day, but I would have to I was the one that was the one dumping, pulling the little tank from our trailer to the dumping station. Yeah, that was my job as a kid too. Oh, look at all that wood. What are those, showers or bathrooms? Huh. This like pavilion used to be like over here, but this is where I remember back in the day they would play bingo. And probably still do, because that looks like possibly the table for the bingo, but they would play bingo here all night long, drink their beer, then they would go back to the camper and build the fires, and every single weekend that's what I did. Well, I'd hang out with my friends. We wouldn't really be around the camp. We wouldn't be around the grown-ups or anything. We'd be off doing our own thing. A lot of times at night we would hang around the camp lot, the campground, but we would kind of go over friends' trailers and stuff. This is really pretty though. Really pretty. I'm real surprised how nice this looks. I think this would be a lot of fun to come up here. Thank you for camping with us. Come again. I would probably do that. This is really nice. Since we don't have a camper, let's see, that's what it's called, if anyone's interested. Beechwood Acres. Heated pool. So you got campsites, cabins, and heated pool. I'm probably not allowed up here, but you know what? I want to see if this no vehicles allowed.